We're changing the subject today. We'll be looking at some physics. And the topic we're going to be looking at on is radioactivity and half-life. It's just for us to just gain a better understanding of what half-life is and how we calculate half-life. What is half-life? Half-life, this is the time taken for radioactive nuclei to decay to half its original value. What we're basically saying is that if we have a radioactive nuclei, it is going to take a fixed amount of time for it to decay to half its original value. So if this is 1, then if this is, you're just going to assume that the whole is 1, and the time that it takes to decay to half is called the half-life. And again, we're talking about the time it takes for it to decay to half its original value. So if we look at the half as a whole now, it will take a fixed amount of time to decay to quarter of the original value. And then it is also take the same fixed amount of time to decay to 1/8 of its original value, and the same time it's going to take to decay to 1/16 of its original value. So basically, if we look at this, then we realize that 2 is common to all the denominators here. So this is the same as saying 2 to the power 1, 1 divided by 2 to the power 2, 1 divided by 2 to the power 3, 1 divided by 2 to the power 4, and so on and so forth. So from this we can develop a useful formula, and the useful formula is that AO, where A0 represents the original activity, and AN is the activity after n number of half-lives, is equal to 2 to the power n. And here's an example that we're going to look at. So, the initial activity of a source is 16,000 becquerels, right? And becquerels is what we use to define activity of a radioactive material. Is the SI unit that is used to represent activity of a radioactive material. After how many half-lives will the activity fall to 125 becquerels? Basically, if you employ this same formula, A0 divided by e to the power n is equal to 2 to the power n. A0 divided by an rather is equal to 2 to the power n. Then A0 would be equal to 16,000 becquerels divided by 125 becquerels. And that is going to be equal to 128. What this 128 represents? Using the formula, this 128 represents 2 to the power n. So 2 to the power n is equal to 128. So what is this question asking? This question is asking how many times will 2 multiply by itself to give you 128. And by calculation, we know that n is equal to 7. If we can check it, 2 to the power n, 2 to the power 7. So here we're going to be we are still looking at radioactivity, and we are going to be looking at this question. It says that in 4 days the activity of a sample of lithium decreases to 1/16 of its original value. Calculate its half-life. And remember what we said the half-life was? The half-life was the time taken for a radioactive material to decay to half its original value. So given that, we're going to use the formula that we looked at earlier, where it said that A0 divided by an is equal to 2 to the power n, where n represents the number of half-lives. Alright? So looking at the question, we're going to just take A0 to be 1, and therefore an is going to be 1/16. So if we just simply substitute the values here into this formula, then we have 1 divided by 1/16 is going to be equal to 2 raised to the power n. So 2 raised to the power n, so what we have here, we have a whole number divided by a fraction, and when we divide a number by a fraction, what do? We invert the fraction and multiply. So 1 multiplied by 16 over 1 is equal to 2 to the power n. So 1 times 16 becomes 16 is equal to 2 to the power n. So 16 is equal to 2 to the power n. So what we are asking now, how many times will 2 multiply by itself to give you 16? Alright, we know that 2 to the power 4, 2 to the power 4 is equal to 16, so 2 to the n is equal to 16, therefore n is equal to 4. So this 4, so there were 4 half lives. So since there were 4 half lives, it means that in 4 days there were 4 half lives. So okay, alright, so 1 half life of 4 days equal to 4 half lives. Okay, so therefore 1 half life is equal to how many days? And if we cross multiply 4 times 4 is 4x is equal to 4, so x is equal to 1, which is 4 divided by 4. So therefore 1 half life is equal to 1 day. Alright? So therefore the half life, in this case the half life of lithium is going to be equal to 1 day. And basically that's just how we do it algebraically.